Hello everyone, Skits here, and today we'll be taking a look at top 10 Flood New Vegas mods that came out in January, February, March, April and May of 2018. At the beginning, I would like to ask you guys to check out some of my previous videos that I did between last Fallout episodes. I worked really hard on them, and with new changes YouTube is implementing every day, I feel like some of them were ignored by YouTube. So if you have some more spare time, I will be linking them in the description below. I would really appreciate your opinion on them. By the way, my Discord server is alive once again, so feel free to rejoin that as well. Now without any further delays, let's get to it. Starting off, we have Asurah Reanimation Pack by Asurah. This replaces almost all weapon animations in game, including first and third person. It is still in alpha, so there is a chance it won't work on many weapon mods, or that you may encounter bugs when testing it. When it comes to animations themselves, I was pleasantly surprised. They look very modern and I would say alive, which means that they are not as stiff as vanilla animations, and they do resemble 2018 FPS animations that are created by huge companies with infinite budget. Like I mentioned, some weapons are not included in this pack, like miniguns, fatmans or melee weapons, but any pistol, repeater, assault rifle or shotgun is included. Other than first and third person action animations, reloading was also reanimated, along with new static animations for holding weapons. If you feel like there wasn't enough footage of this mod right over here, don't worry, I used them throughout the whole video. Also, if you were using Hitman's animation before, Hitman himself decided to hide his mod and recommends this one, which only emphasizes how good these new animations are, so definitely go ahead and check them out. Next up, we have 5 Aces by Oli Oxen. This mod adds a new shop in Freeside, where you can find a terminal that allows you to take bounties and quests. Other than that, there is also a voiced shopkeeper here that you can talk to and buy items from. Let's start off with bounties. Each one is put on a different criminal with different backstory and style of battle, so every single one will be an unique experience. You can meet a guy who has a bunch of robots protecting him, or you can find your bounty already dead in his house. There is also a guy that runs a Nuka-Cola factory with a bunch of soda fanatics. Other than these bounties, there are also 2 quests I tried out that were also good, with a different combination of exploring, talking and shooting. What I really love about this mod is its huge variety in content, writing and dialogue. I especially like the dialogue, which I personally found funny and creative. Personalities of different targets you hunt are a huge plus, and even friendly NPCs are wacky and fun to interact with. When it comes to gameplay, you will be mainly shooting and talking, and it will take you around 2 or 3 hours to finish this mod. There are also tons of details that you can find here. For example, the shopkeeper has different animations when he speaks with you. There are however few bugs I noticed in it. For example, I was unable to photograph dead bodies for bounties, or I could have also possibly missed a special camera I had to use. Other than that, this mod offers a lot of quality content with tons of unique details, and I would definitely recommend it. Moving on, we have 3 very similar mods, the Living Desert, Mojave Raiders and Mojave Wildlife. All 3 of them repopulate and rework people of Mojave Desert, with each taking on a different aspect of them. Let's start off with the Living Desert by ElPascal. This mod adds hundreds of new NPCs and several scripted events into New Vegas. You can now meet patrols, merchants or soldiers while traveling. There are also tons of places where new NPCs settle, so that way locations that were empty before now have someone to talk to. Amount of people and places you encounter them depends on your quest progression. For example, if you let NCR take Prim, you can see NCR Rangers outside of town patrolling it. From what I saw while I was testing this mod, biggest change are the huge amounts of traveling merchants and ranchers that now travel around desert. I also saw some new people at trading posts and even some squatters or junkies around New Vegas. However, I am not 100% sure which NPCs belong to which mod, so there is a chance I might have mixed it up. Personally, I did not encounter any scripted events, but I am sure that if you use this mod from start of your game until its finish, you can experience some of them. That is how I would also recommend playing with this mod. That way you can see a steady increase in Mojave's population and its change due to your actions, which is awesome to see. Next 2 mods are called Mojave Raiders and Mojave Wildlife, both by Push the WinButton. Let's start off with Mojave Raiders. This mod reworks the whole Raider faction, including Viper, Jackal and Scorpion gangs. First thing this mod takes a look at is of course the number of Raiders. It is now increased by a lot, and if you try traveling around West Vegas and Vault 3 anytime soon, be prepared for a lot of resistance. Other than Fiends, Jackals and Vipers now have tons of new spawns as well. You can find them in north and south sections of map. Another feature is rearmament of raiders. Fiends now have better weapons, I even saw some minigun wielding ones, and so they now possess a bigger threat, all thanks to a new weapon distribution system that divides raiders into 4 tiers, with each tier having different weapons. Jackals and vipers now wear standard raider armor, and their loot was redesigned as well. Now they no longer have tons of chems, food or stimpaks on them, to make it a bit difficult to survive. Before, it was easy to just kill a bunch of vipers or powder gangers and stack up on supplies, which is now not possible. Raiders can also now drop NCR dollars or Legion currency as well. Scorpion's gang also received a complete makeover that you can check out over at Monte Carlo Suits. Playing with this mod changed my New Vegas experience significantly, since desert is no longer empty and I was constantly facing new fiends or raiders in spaces that were empty before, making it a lot harder but also more entertaining to traverse through Mojave. When combined with our next mod, Mojave Wildlife, New Vegas will feel a lot more alive. Mojave Wildlife adds tons of new spawns for vanilla creatures. These spawns are not randomized, each one was placed by hand, so we wouldn't feel overwhelmed by the amount of enemies, and to strike a perfect balance between fun and challenge. Each spawn was also leveled, so we won't encounter deathclaws outside of Goodsprings. Main roads and nearby settlements were also excluded to prevent any creatures from killing important NPCs. Tons of locations also got an upgrade in size, so now we can encounter more ghouls around Repcon or new mutants at Black Mountain. I would recommend using this mod along 2 previous ones for some fun encounters, where you can find super mutants fighting fiends and so on. There are also different types of spawns, vanilla or Fallout 3 styled one, that you can read about on the mod page. Overall, a very good mod that adds a bit of flavor into Mojave, and you should go ahead and check it out. Next up we have Live Dismemberment by Sub-Nero-CL and Asurah. This mod is exactly for people who like to torture their opponents or allow to tear limbs off. Now whenever you do enough damage to legs or arms, they will be blown off. If you destroy a leg, your enemy will start to bleed out and slowly crawl away from you, and it is up to you to end their misery or wait for them to bleed out, which is also accompanied by a new cool animation. If you blow off their left arm, they cannot use two-handed weaponry and will resort to pistol if they have any. If they don't, or if you remove their right arm, they will start to flee, and you, as a proper torture master, can blow away their leg and watch them crawl to their death. Other than that, you could of course use this as a strategy, and instead of aiming for head or torso, attack limbs first. That way you can remove a lot of enemies from battle easily. Now, the leg animation was sometimes not working properly for me, probably due to conflict with awesome crippling effects that I reviewed in previous videos, that also affects limbs and other parts of body. Other than that, this mod is awesome to use, and I had a lot of fun with it, so you should definitely try it out for yourself. Now let's take a look at mod that helped me get a lot of footage for the previous mod. It is called Plasma Cutter by Quicksilver 500. This mod adds a new weapon in game, inspired by Dead Space's Plasma Cutter. You can find it in Medical Wing of Vault 34, and if you have a repair skill of 40, nothing is stopping you from using it. This weapon has a few unique features. First of all, just like Plasma Cutter in Dead Space, you can change its firing mode by pressing B, which is accompanied by a very good animation. In vertical shooting mode, you shoot 3 laser beam projectiles in row, and in horizontal mode, a blade of energy is fired that consumes more energy. It also comes with 2 modifications that increase its damage and firing capacity. When it comes to model and textures, both are custom. Model looks very good and similar to original Dead Space 1, and even though textures are a bit worse, they give weapon a unique look. Combat is fun as well. Another unique thing this weapon has is increased damage to limbs, so that way, if you use Live Dismemberment as well, you're gonna be tearing a lot of limbs off, just like in Dead Space. I felt like this weapon was a bit overpowered, but that is probably because I mainly used it against weak raiders. Overall, a great looking weapon with a few unique functions that I can only recommend. Next up we have JIP MiniMap by jazzisparis. This mod adds a minimap into right corner of your screen. You could see this mod throughout the whole video, so by now you should have an idea of how it looks. By pressing M key, you can either hide or show it, and if you hold down M key, it will change between world and local map. Each part of map was implemented into this mod. I was very impressed by detailed local maps, especially in interiors, that made it a lot easier to navigate through them. It is in full color, you can see map markers, doors and quest markers on it. Like I mentioned, it is very detailed, even the world map and especially local map look beautiful. If you want, you can also customize it in mod configuration menu. Other than that, there is not much to say, a pretty small but useful mod, just like most mods from jazzisparis. Moving on, we have a difference in opinion by Casoparrot. This mod adds a new quest that begins automatically when you launch your game with it, as long as you hit level 6 already. Now once again, this quest mod is pretty similar to Moater's previous work. There is a lot of story, especially background story here, so make sure you pay attention and read every terminal you can to get the full story. This time, however, you don't only fight robots or stay in underground labs, but you will explore a wider variety of environments, meet tons of new NPCs that you can talk to, and thanks to that, combat and exploration has a bit more flavor to it. When it comes to story, I did enjoy it. Quest mod's name perfectly describes it, and you are probably gonna have mixed feelings about some characters or decisions you or they make. When it comes to combat, it was enjoyable as always. This time, instead of robots, you also get to fight creatures and humans as well. Overall, I would say this was a pretty good experience, so if you're looking for a nice quest mod that will take you a few hours to finish, and you liked Moater's previous work, then you should go ahead and check it out. And our last mod for today is Courier Ranger Armor by Quicksilver 500. As the name suggests, this mod adds a brand new armor into the game. You can find it just outside of Canyon Wreckage by going to the left and looking for an abandoned shack. Inside you can find your armor along with a workbench that you can use to customize it. By using glue, scissors, tape, belt and other various accessories, you can change the appearance of this armor. In vanilla state, it looks like a pretty basic ranger armor, but with a few upgrades and changes, it starts to look a lot better. These visual changes mainly represent things Courier went through. For example, you can write "Benny was here" on your helmet, or you can paint your preferred action symbol on back of your coat. You can also take off your sleeves, repair your visor, or tape cigarettes and bullets onto your helmet. There are a lot of choices, and it is up to you to make your armor look just like you want it. When it comes to texture quality, I did like it, especially little custom things are done very well, and the model was good as well. Overall, a good looking armor with some neat features, so if you're interested, make sure you check it out. And yeah guys, I guess that's about it for today's video. Now I know I said I won't be making any Fallout New Vegas mods in the future, but I found out that if I do some other videos in between, I don't get burnt out so easily. So if I won't lose my passion for Fallout, you can expect maybe one Fallout New Vegas mods video per month, at least for the next 2 or 3 months. Since my summer break is starting very soon, I will be making a separate channel update where I will be talking about all the new things you can find on this channel soon. And also, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you have time, please check out some of my older videos. I worked really hard on them, and so far the reception for them was also very good. However, they were not seen by many people. So if you have time, please go ahead and check them out. I would be very glad to hear your opinion about them. And also, I am once again alive on the Discord server. I know I abandoned it very soon after I made it, but this time I'm planning to stay, and I'm active on it every day. Trying to start a conversation or answering any of your questions, so feel free to join in or rejoin if you already joined in the past. And yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, tell me what you think about it in the comments, subscribe for more Fallout and other games content, and I will see you next time.